Portland family living in fear after attempted home invasion. Oh, this one is nutty. This one's a wild one. Now, if you want to see some footage of what this actually looked like, we've got a front porch cam that showed this perpetrator just bashing his way into this family's home. You can see that content over on our subscriber channel on Rumble. I can't show it here because it's too violent, and I will be accused of promoting violence. So let's jump on in. Let's take a look. I can describe to you exactly everything that's happened. It's a wild story. Remember that story we had of the crazy homeless person who had been in and out of mental institutions, been in and out of jail, and she went inside somebody's house in Portland, just walked her way in and took a little nap on the bed, the 10-year-old's bed, before she was woken up by the family dog? Well, this is a little more violent than that. This is a guy on meth smashing his way through the front door of a family's home while they are home and having dinner. Let's see what we got. Let's get into it. A Portland family says they're living in fear after somebody tried to break into their home. It happened Thursday night and Friday afternoon. 18-year-old Joseph Ibrahim faced a judge charged in connection to the crime. The family wishes to remain anonymous for their safety, but wants people to hear their story that began while they were having dinner Thursday night. Sitting down eating dinner, and you have smash comes through your window. And then you're like, what is that? And then it's literally shards of glass coming at you. You run up there and you're like, what do I do? Well, so the dad grabs the family's cat scratching post. You know, one of those things, a couple of feet high, grabs that, starts whacking at the perpetrator. Wild stuff. Until he does that, until the 12-year-old brings him a baseball bat. I mean, things are getting fierce in Portland. This is nutty. Nutty. Suddenly, the father of the family explained, we heard an explosion of broken glass. We didn't know what it was. Father of the family of 5, who we're going to call John to keep his identity safe, says he was eating dinner with his 2 sons, who are 12 and 14. Meanwhile, the mother, who we're calling Jane for the same reasons, was upstairs. Mom's upstairs doing laundry, cleaning the bathroom, doing whatever mom's doing, sorting out some stuff, having alone time because there's crazy stuff going on. And you got this deal, right? My youngest son was screaming, she said. I didn't know what was going on. Well, when a dude on meth is bashing out your front window, that is cause for alarm. That's cause for alarm. I give it to the 12-year-old kid. I'd probably scream as well. That's just kind of what you do. John ran to the door and said he confronted the suspect, who can be seen in ring camera footage, reaching through the door to try and get inside. I ran at him and tried to push him and his arm out the window. You can see that. And the guy kind of retracts his arm, right? John was hit with what he later found out was a piece of his own fencing. That's a fine how do you do. Guy didn't even bring his own weapon to the war, right? Police say Ibrahim had taken it apart while making his way up to the porch. Do you think that proves a little bit of premeditative, this is what we're doing? I would think so, but John armed himself with the closest thing he could find, a cat scratching post. As you do. When you've got crazy meth head coming through your front door, you'll take damn near anything, including a cat scratching post, and you'll just defend your household, defend your kingdom. That's what you do. This was before his 12-year-old brought him a baseball bat. Good boy, good son. Hope you brought the really, really hard aluminum one. Maybe the wood one? I don't know. Which one would be better for a crazy whacked out meth head? Baseball or aluminum or wood? Let me know in the comments. Which one would you choose? He was looking at both of us, John said, actively trying to get into the house to get to us. I didn't know what he had in mind. You don't know. We had crazy meth head in the King County Courthouse within the last year. And he tried to sexually assault a woman who was 7 months pregnant because he thought, in his meth head mind, he thought that she could feel his meth energy and would want to have sex with him. Yeah, that didn't work out well for him. Yeah, no. I don't know whether he had a gun, a knife, or what was happening, Jane said, so I grabbed my children, as you do. You hunker down and weather the storm. She said that's when she had them in the bathroom, arming her 2 kids with knives before getting a hold of police. All right, here you go. Here's a knife for you, and here's a knife for you. Anybody comes knocking, Stabbing action. I mean, it's crazy that this is what it's come to, is that a mom has to, arm her children, lock them in the bathroom or whatever they're doing. Hey, guys, lock yourselves in. This is that one time it's okay to do it. This is insane, isn't it? And yet, this is what happens when you decriminalize drugs and just let everybody run around. This is what happens. Harm reduction, my ass. This is the harm that you are causing by just allowing all this stuff. It's okay. It's no longer felony. It's just all misdemeanors. Everything's legal. It's just this socialist utopia we've got going on here. Until it's not. Until you have to use a cat scratching post to defend your family because a nut job outside is coming in at you with a piece of your own fencing material. High on meth. Yeah. Harm mitigation. Yeah, there you go. When the police arrived, they found Ibrahim sitting on the porch. John says the 18-year-old never said a word throughout the confrontation, but court documents detail that a police officer reported him giggling to himself on his way to jail, all while talking about how scared the family was. Throw that kid in jail. He needs to be in jail for a quick 10 years. Cool as jets. Just let him reimagine and rethink his future because, yeah, he needs to reimagine and rethink his future. If he hadn't been here, John said, if things had gone differently, I don't know what would have happened. If I hadn't been here, the dad says, don't know what would have happened. John pressed charges and made a statement at Ibrahim's arraignment. His bail was set at $250. $250. That's insane. You got to put guys like that away. You got to keep guys like that off the street. If you don't, shame on you, Judge. Shame on you. That's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. This guy belongs in jail up until the time he goes to trial, and then he gets sentenced, and then he goes to prison and or jail, whatever it is you're going to give him, whatever kind of sentence you're going to give him. Yeah, you try and break in and assault a family? I'm a hard no-go on that. If you think that's okay, then yeah, maybe you should go move to Portland. Yeah, I hear this kind of thing is, happening on the regular there, and you hang out with all the homeless folks, and everything should be copacetic, right? With the camera footage, with the evidence, with the arrest, with everything else, John said, we're in a situation here where this guy is going to skate out less than 24 hours after doing the deed. In what world does that make any sense whatsoever? I don't know. Doesn't make sense in my world. How long until this kind of guy comes up against somebody and, they're armed. They're packing heat at the dinner table. And instead of a cat scratching post, it's a 9mm to the forehead. Yeah, I think that's what you're going to see more of because people are having to literally defend their own. And it's just become ridiculous. This story shouldn't be read. Shouldn't have people out there whacked out of their minds on meth. And yet you do. So if you want to say, hey, people are just taking drugs on their own, they're not really harming anybody. Yeah. Have you heard about that one podcast where the guy breaks into the family's home? Jane said that this wasn't surprising to her. As she explained, crime in her neighborhood has gotten worse and worse. She says her children have been followed down the street by unnerving individuals. Okay. Yeah. No, that's not good either. John plans to upgrade security. All right. But yeah, what are you going to do against the meth head coming in with the fencing? However, the couple says under the current leadership, that's interesting. That's just a little bit of a dig at Portland right there. Under the current leadership, they're looking to leave Portland, which saddens them because they love the city and they were looking forward to raising their children there. Well, you're not going to be doing any child raising if they're not alive. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that. So yeah, this is insane, isn't it? This is an insane story, but what's crazier this kind of thing is happening. I mean, it's ongoing. When you've got a bunch of drug-addled people that you're allowing to live just willy-nilly anywhere, this is what's going to go on. You've got people roaming throughout the community, just whacked out of their minds, looking to steal something and maybe hurt your family. So, I mean, it's interesting that they said under current leadership, because these are people that live in Portland. More than likely, they did not vote for Trump. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. What are they thinking about their leadership choices now? Not at the presidential level, but at local level. How about the mayor, Mayor Ted, who is absolutely struggling to put something together to get some of these folks off the streets, out of the massive homeless encampments into formal encampments. He's struggling to do that from a funding standpoint and everything else. And a lot of it has to do with people are looking around in Portland going, this has to change like right now because of this kind of story that I just read for you. This is kind of one more thing. And that's why we talk about Portland a lot, because I think you've got more stories going on in Portland than almost anywhere else in the United States right now, because there's so many different aspects of this story that kind of go into creating a situation like this. And here we are. Here we are, defending your household with a cat scratching post. Wild stuff, huh? Make that vote count. I can't tell you how many comments I've had from people. Well, they voted for the politicians that are in place that gave them the laws that caused this type of activity to happen, this type of behavior from people whacked out on their mind on drugs. Can't really say much about that, can you? That's the deal. That's the dealio. All right, that's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.